SexyHackers.com.
Once upon a time, there were a few young girls with a passion for literature, a love of the written word, an inspired infatuation of... Okay, fine. We were a bunch of super dorks with no friends. We spent all day hiding out in our rooms, reading books that were maybe a little inappropriate.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Who Let Me Read This, the podcast where myself and a group of gal folk friends, actor, comedians, I don't know, good people, all get together and discuss the ridiculously inappropriate and terribly written books of our youth that we read for some reason, I'm not sure why, and how it's affected our lives over the years, and what I tell my therapist every week. Woo! Hello.
We are back for week number 4 of Die Softly by Christopher Pike.
The conclusion.
The thrilling conclusion
Oh my
of
God.
Die Softly by Christopher Pike. Laura Holterman chose our book this month.
It really chose
It's
me.
been a wild ride. I'm Sarah Wallisch here with Michelle
Hello.
White and Andrea Roedel-Schroeder. We have been really having a time of it. We've been having a time discussing this book here at the Sexy Hackers Studio. Our sponsors /
Enablers.
SexyHackers.com. Check them out. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Do the subscribe thing on your podcast app of choice. Give us a 5-star rating. You can
Like us.
You can write some nice things about us or not. You don't have to.
That's okay.
But if you want to write nice things about us, we'll write nice things about you in our diaries at home, and you'll never see it. Don't worry about it.
Mine's name is Simba.
Your diary's name is Simba.
Well, the one I had in high school, I found it the other day. My little sister actually found it and told me she read the whole thing, and I should be mortified.
Oh, dear. How old is your little sister?
She's 13 years younger than me, so she's 23.
Oh, okay.
And this was like...
Shut up, you just admitted your age on air. Cut it. No one can Ladies know. and gentlemen, this is a moment.
Cut it!
Can you
Cut
edit
it! You
that
cut
out
that
in
out.
post-production?
Please.
Just like bleep it out in post.
Just black bar
We'll
over
just
Michelle's
go with
mouth.
she's 13 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Michelle and I have been friends for like 10, 15 years, and we've been trying to get her to admit that for the longest time.
Got her. We can stop the podcast now, guys.
Yeah, podcast is done. It's over. Everybody can go home. Don't go home because
Don't
we
go
have
home.
so much to say about
So
the end of
much.
Die Softly.
Okay.
The end of this book.
Holy cow.
So let's get you caught up on where we are, though.
For sure. In case you didn't listen to the first 3, silliness. Or you just need to
pause it and
refresh.
go back and listen to the other.
Yeah.
There is a lot to digest.
So, unkempt photography whiz Herb decides to take photos of cheerleaders in the shower. He feels bad for about 0.2 seconds when his dream girl and head cheerleader, Alexa, is vaguely nice to him, but his lack of conscience wins. In the photos, he discovers a picture of Alexa creeping up on her best friend Lisa with a bat. Weird, because Lisa died last night in a fiery cocaine-induced car accident.
In the same spot Roger did before.
Upon hearing about this picture,
spot.
Alexa tells him she's being framed, of course. Her boyfriend beats the snot out of Herb and steals the photo. Good thing Herb has a negative to lure Alexa back to his house where they can flirt and discuss how her father used to sexually abuse her, casually.
For like a second before just
Moving on. After some back and forth phone calls, Herb and Alexa go to meet Sammy, his dumpy and shady friend who may be behind all of this. Steven shows up too, gets killed by Sammy, then Sammy gets shot by Herb's other best friend Theo, who's really in this book only to shoot at people. Flash forward to the present, Herb has recapped all of this to Detective Fitzsimmons, who says he's on his way over. Or is he? Dum dum dum. So we have a lot of delightful things to discuss in this book. So let's just take it a plot point at a time because there's a lot. So Herb has set up his camera in his bedroom. His special VCR
Time lapse,
camera. Yeah. He is super concerned that you're going to hear the shutter snap back and
Yes.
forth.
yeah.
on there, but it's okay. So now Alexa has showed up to his house, and she decides it is time to get it on.
Yeah.
It is sexy time.
She's about it.
She brought some cookies.
Yeah. And
She's
demands
like, eat
beer.
some cookies. Eat them. See, we were talking about feeders and eaters last week.
There
like,
you go.
Lisa's like, eat these cookies. I want to watch you eat them. It's a thing. I mean, if somebody wants to pay me for that, I'm in.
Is that a thing, like, on the internet?
It is. Yes, you can get paid to like let people watch you eat. And I feel like these are things I do anyway. I should be getting paid for it.
You get paid extra if you're messy.
What? What? I'm the messiest eater ever.
Like, why do I have a day job? But like, seriously, like, mad respect for people who like do that as a primary source of income, because like,
Yeah, if you could like drop a link in the comments, because like I have a
Please.
mortgage.
Show was I watching, and she sat on balloons for money on the internet.
Oh.
I mean, there's
whatever
like
it
the
was, I saw
bread
that.
The
face
United States
lady
of
who
Terror.
like smushes her face into like loaves of bread, and like that's
There's
what she makes a
something
living.
for everyone.
Yeah.
I need to explore the internet more. Huh.
Yeah.
And Alexa's thing is her eating cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's all like, I like to drink milk with mine, and she's like, I like beer. Right? Because beer and
that's a
cookies?
And
Texture.
teenage girls don't like
I mean,
beer.
I've
Let's start there.
done beer and cookies. Let's be honest.
Well, you're an adult.
Yeah. I spent time. I put in the work to like beer. Mm-hmm. Like, you get to college, you're either like, I'm never going to like beer, or you're like, I'm going to
force myself.
to like beer, which was me.
Yes.
I was like, I'm going to force myself to like beer. I'm going to like beer. And I just drank beer until I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't like it that much. But
But it's there, and you know, when you're at college parties or whatnot, it's the only thing available.
so much Beast Light.
And you don't want to be
Yes.
the person who has to bring their own special something, because then everyone drinks it immediately, and
Yeah.
you're like, you jerks. Now I just
Yes.
have to drink beer.
Or you drink the terrible punch drink that's named after a racial slur.
Oh, yeah. That's always a thing. So, all right. So Alexa seduced him. She wants to tie him up and talk nonstop.
So much.
About everything she has done. Wow.
She's like a teenage Bond villain.
Well, they talk
She's
about
like,
how
let me tell you every detail.
Every single detail of
my
every step
plot.
of this plot.
she talks about how they made cookies with cocaine in them, which I don't think works that way.
Yeah, no.
Like, you
I feel
can't
like
eat cocaine.
Also, what a waste.
Yeah.
That's a waste of cocaine.
Huge.
It does sound like she was just like lousy with the cocaine, though.
Yeah, it
Like,
does. I mean, Lisa was rich, and
Yeah.
Alexa.
Well, they were having the
rich,
dudes.
Question mark?
the dudes were going to get it, and then she started stealing jewelry and selling
right.
the jewelry, her rich parents' jewelry, to buy more cocaine from this person who got extremely.
I think like the dudes were like burglarizing as well. I want to
Yes.
say, and like
Well, the
then
town is-
fencing that.
Isn't the town called Shadyville? Like
Man,
Yes, I think it is.
so it's totally Shadyville. But there is one of the least sexy seduction scenes I've ever read.
rough, you guys.
Oh.
It's bad.
Their exchange starts with like, "We should get started." Yes, that's always how I.
That's how I. That's how I instigate every sexual encounter.
You bet.
We should get started.
She prefaces it with, "I love kissing."
Yeah. Like, woo. I just love kissing.
Okay.
She goes, "But can I tie you up?" But he's like, "Sure, let me take my pants off." No. It's more fun to wrestle with clothes on. Please don't get undressed, you disgusting human.
It's more fun to wrestle with clothes on.
Right? It's more fun when there's things in the way.
Yeah. And it is baffling this whole time they're having this exchange. Like, he clearly understands to some degree, like, what is happening here. Because he hides a knife. He has the camera set up.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, he's our narrator. And he does genuinely seem to think that they're going to bang.
Oh my God, he totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so confusing to me, like, how he seems to simultaneously completely understand what's happening and completely not understand
Just
what's
like
happening.
the very, very small chance that it's real is worth it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I know it's a
That's
0.00001% chance, but I'm willing to risk it.
Yeah, because he gets tied up, and then she immediately starts word vomiting her entire plan to him. And like she gets to the point that she's like talking about his role in things, and he like is immediately crestfallen of like, you didn't really like me. Like, what are you doing, dude? And like he puts Led Zeppelin on, some real
such sexy music, Led Zeppelin.
which like we know he's trying to drown out the camera noise, sure, but you only had a Led Zeppelin.
Some Barry White, like come on. Led Zeppelin. If I went to a dude's house and I was like, I'm gonna get away with murder by fucking this dude, and he put on Led Zeppelin, I'd be like, you know what, jail doesn't sound so bad.
no, I'm good. That's good. That's fine. So she's tying him up. She's telling him her whole plan. So we find out that Alexa and Lisa used to share Roger, the guy who died. And he was burglarizing homes. Steven, too, I'm guessing. Yeah, so
They had a whole racket going on,
Yeah.
Which, like, props to organizing your relationship, like, however you want to, but also, like, big boo to manipulating people into, like, burglarizing houses for you.
And there's like a lot of weird, sketchy things about like
It was rich
how
people, who cares?
they calculatedly like introduced cocaine to these dudes and like got them hooked on, which like yes, there's choice involved, but also they had that intent the whole time.
And cocaine isn't heroin. Like, you're not physically addicted to the point where you need to rob houses. Like, it's like temporarily addictive. Like, you want to keep doing it, but once you've stopped,
You tapped. Sure.
Yeah.
So it's probably more of the like addiction to the women. you know? Like, the rush of things.
They're definitely
True.
gaslit into the next century.
yes.
Yeah. So they'd gotten Roger addicted, and he decided he wanted out, right? Because he felt bad about things. So they decided to trick him by tying him up to some trees in the woods. Who are these men?
They just let girls be tying them up all the time.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they duct tape his mouth shut and then hold bags of cocaine under his nose.
Bags of cocaine.
Okay.
Trash bag of cocaine,
First of all, that's not how it works. Like, you would just have to breathe shallowly. There's no way it's getting up there. Like, it would.
Right?
Okay, that's why I say this is not regular cocaine. So that's basically if you just get like a tiny milligram in your nose, you're going to die, and you start hemorrhaging from
This
your face.
was pre-fentanyl. All right.
Right. So,
Like,
and it's cocaine.
fentanyl wasn't even like a glimmer in
And
the
even
drug
that, you have to
community's
actually
eye.
snort it, not just breathe
Right.
a particle. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't know. But there were bags and bags of it, and they shoveled it up his nose
And
until...
he had to breathe through his nose, and then it forced him to snort it. No, snorting takes effort.
Right? Everyone knows. You know,
Not in
everyone in the
Pikeland.
audience, just go ahead and do this right now. That's a lot of work. Okay.
Plus, if you don't have something to get it up with, it's just going everywhere. So, like,
You're getting sprinkles at best.
Yeah.
exactly.
Ridiculous.
Like,
They didn't put a
he's
straw in
probably
his
going, like, breathing out through his nose, which is then just blowing
Blowing
it
it.
around. Like,
It was
they
a
did
long
not
night.
Think this out. Yeah,
was a long night.
How long did this take to get him that jacked up on coke by just casually breathing it in?
And then he got like freakish strength and like tore one of the things off.
Yep. And he ran off and got into his car.
Yep.
And drove off around the deadly curve. Dun, dun, dun.
There's a lot of those bump.
Yeah. He swerves. He goes off the cliff because he almost hit Sammy, the surprise witness.
It was an accident. It
was.
But the guilt.
She feels so guilty. And of course, Alexa and Lisa are there to show up and be like, oh, you did it. It was you. And she's
But
like,
we'll help you
don't want
cover it
anyone to
up.
tell.
Yeah.
You have
We're
to.
your friends now.
Yeah.
We like you now. We're going to help you.
Right? Like, but you be our alibi. But just for Lisa, though. She was not an alibi for Alexa. They never questioned Alexa. Anyway. Sure.
Because she's so nice.
Fine. So this is how Alexa and Lisa...
Those legs for days.
And her bright green eyes.
And then I got like self-conscious and never mind.
Thanks a lot, Herb.
Thanks, Herb.
We're actually we're gonna be back for how much of the worst Herb is after a quick word from sexyhackers.com.
Woo!
Sexyhackers.com.
Welcome back to the final episode of Die Softly by Christopher Pike. We are getting near the end. Christopher Pike is wrapping things up.
Swiftly.
And Herb is continuing to be the worst.
The worst
So
protagonist ever. Yeah. So now he's now Alexa's got Herb all tied up. And
He does have a knife that he's hidden,
Yep.
thinking he can grab it.
Sure. That makes
But he's
sense.
dumb. So
He's got his camera
So
set.
I'm not even sure why they put that part in because like it's a total failure. But
Totally doesn't work. And Alexa is just, word vomiting her entire plan.
Yeah.
On how they have, they're tricking everybody into doing cocaine. Her and Lisa were baking cookies and baking cocaine into it or just sprinkling it on top.
I have no idea.
Super
I feel like it would work better if they sprinkled the cocaine on top. But
Yeah.
I feel like she said
Right.
that they were baking it into the cookies, which I wouldn't think would do anything.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have a bake sale this weekend for
Try it out.
Yeah, I don't. It's for a dog rescue group I work with. That I don't know. That's probably a bad idea.
It'd be expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use it like baking soda. You only need a
that's
teaspoon.
not
That would cost like $50.
But still,
But I feel like that's not a good use of your time, money, or cocaine.
no.
No, it is not.
So at this point, Herb tries to get away. Right? He tries to grab his knife.
Yes.
And he thinks he's got enough slack in his weak arms and his ropes.
Feeble body.
Right? And he says,
I don't play any sports.
right?
Yeah.
And Alexa pulls the one rope because Herb's like, oh, wait, I forgot it was all one continuous rope. And she pulls it and is like, yanks him like a marionette. And like, oh, you can't do anything.
Poor fool.
And his camera's clicking.
Yeah.
He's taking pictures
Of this whole thing because Herb knew.
every couple minutes.
But I think
taking
she
another
is
picture.
straddling him at this point. So
Yeah.
he probably has a boner while he's being murdered.
Absolutely has a boner.
He's still thinking this is going to happen. He's
Yeah.
like, I know that she just told me, but
I know she just told me she was going to murder me, but I think maybe we're going to have sex
Yeah,
first.
she confessed to like being part of Roger and then Sammy and Steven and Lisa. So at least 4 murders.
Yeah, she's orchestrated all these murders with the help of like everyone having a gun.
Yeah. Because I kept getting lost in the shenanigans and
Because it's all like at the last.
yeah, she spills this all on us at once. So okay, so everything happened with Roger, and then we got Lisa getting suspicious. Was that the whole jam? And so then she decided that Lisa needed to go too.
yeah.
And
Well,
got
or that
Sammy
Lisa
to help.
felt guilty, or they
Yeah.
wanted to tell, or something.
Well, and then Lisa got her the bad
We're
coke.
getting into.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right. Lisa
Lisa
tried to
I
poison
think,
her.
I think that was the final straw. She got her the bad coke and tried to kill her with strychnine, as
Yes.
you do.
The final straw.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Lisa tried to poison her with some like coke laced with strychnine, supposedly. And so she was like, all right, Lisa's got to go, and kills Lisa
With Sammy's help.
with Sammy's help.
But Sammy was really only helping so they could catch
Alexa.
Alexa killing Lisa, which is why
Right.
Sammy told him to set up the camera.
Yep.
Yes.
Right. But like Alexa was suspicious that Sammy was going to tell. So she also orchestrated that Steven and Sammy would confront each other
Yes.
on that curve. And she gave Sammy a gun that had one bullet and a bunch of blanks in it. And
Yep.
she made sure that Steven had a gun. Everybody has a gun.
Everyone
Like,
has a
she-
gun.
Oh,
She
wait,
had
I
Steven
know.
call Theo so that Theo would be sniping.
Right.
She
And, like,
is
I
one
know we have a
manipulative
problem.
cunt.
Right?
I know we have a problem with
I
gun
admire that in
access
her.
in this country, but like every single teenager in this town is like, "Hey, what's up? I just got a gun. Hey, what's up? I got another gun. Gun party. Everybody
It's
like
what
do none of their
Europeans
parents-
think the United States is like all
It
the
is.
time.
Do
Yes.
none of these people's parents know what a gun safe is?
Clearly not.
This is my hometown. Oh.
Okay, my dad had a gun when I was growing up, but I didn't know about it. I didn't know he had a gun until I was like long out of the house. I was like, wait a minute, what? Where'd it go? It also might not have worked, and he bought it at a rummage sale, which is totally legal.
Whoopsie. Paperwork. But so, and also Alexa gave a bunch of the poison coke to Steven, thinking it would kill him. But it didn't.
Just gave him a bloody nose.
And made him stronger. He is now the Hulk.
Yes.
Hulks so he hulks out on coke and has to be shot directly in the heart in order to stop him.
Yes. Makes him a werewolf. Amazing. Yep.
Ow.
So now Herb tries to escape and fails.
Miserably.
Of course he does.
Because he's Herb.
And is heartbroken to find that Alexa does not, in fact, like, want to bone him for realsies.
Yeah.
Which, like, she does say, I genuinely enjoy your company. I just also needed something from you.
I've been there.
I mean, I was just, well,
Yeah. Which,
we've all been there.
At least she's honest.
well, and
I
here's the thing, though.
enjoy your company. I just
Why?
don't want to fuck you.
Well,
right?
like, and why does she enjoy his company? He's terrible.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
Of anybody in this book, why does she genuinely enjoy his company?
Game, set, match.
right? Of all the people to manipulate, you think Theo would have been easier. Like, the town drunk, right?
The town drunk.
Who's a crack shot?
It's
About
not
his
smart like
brother's
Herb.
death.
Like smart about electronics, not like smart, like street smart.
True. She needed a photographer for some reason.
This is very in depth. This is like
It's
one
a lot
of
to
those
unpack.
puzzle things where the answer is so ridiculous. Like, no one would have ever thought that was the answer.
Right.
So now she's pinned Herb down and duct tapes his mouth because she says he's strong like a football player, not like a cheerleader. Shut your face hole, Christopher Pike, all right? And she's pulling out clumps of his hair. Do you know how hard that is to pull out clumps of someone's hair?
I mean, given his hygiene,
Yeah.
maybe it's just rough
Because it
up
comes
there.
out anyways when he brushes his hair. Once every 6 months.
Your hair does fall, like if you don't wash your hair, it seems like your hair falls out more because what normally would fall out when you're washing it doesn't fall out. It just like precariously hangs out. And so then like it seems like more is falling out. So maybe he just is like extra dirty.
I believe it. I think that's fair. Yeah. So now she's holding him down. She duct tape his mouth shut and starts just taking handfuls of coke.
With the strychnine, the coke with the strychnine.
Yep, the bad coke, and just shoving it under his nose. Like, breathe it in.
Yes.
Do it. Breathe it in. What sort of gallon bag are we looking at here? Like,
She's got like a feed bag.
Now, the most I've ever seen, I mean,
that your friends
I've heard of.
Most
friends
you've
I've ever seen.
heard of.
it was like $2,000 worth. And it still was only like
2 handfuls?
like a quarter of a
A
cup.
handful?
right?
A quarter.
little BB handful.
Yes.
And even
like,
that.
It
So
was,
now we-
yes, a handful. And it was like, damn!
Right?
And it lasted a long time.
So even then,
That's what I heard.
right, for your friends.
That's, yeah.
So then we add a little bit of strychnine. We maybe get to a third of a cup.
Right.
Sure.
But also, that's not how strychnine works.
Wait, how does strychnine work?
I have no idea.
Okay, so
Is it a powder?
when you get if you
Yes.
get strychnine poisoning, strychnine is rat poison.
Oh, okay.
But when you get strychnine poisoning, it makes your muscles like spasm. It makes your muscles spasm like really, really hard, where like your back arches really hard and your jaw tightens up. And like if you die of strychnine poisoning, you actually die of asphyxiation because your muscles tense up so much that you can't breathe. Or you die from exhaustion from the convulsions.
Yeah.
Like it takes a couple of hours.
Oh.
It's super painful and it's like super grotesque. Like cases of people dying from strychnine poisoning, they talk about them being like grotesquely like
claws
misshapen and like because their muscles are tensing up and convulsing
seizing.
so badly. Yeah.
Oh, this is horrible.
Which, like, Christopher Pike clearly understood a tiny bit because he does talk about how when Steven is, like, roided out, he talks about how he's, like, jerking and twitching almost like he's got a case of epilepsy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
That's a phrase you just said, but okay. Thanks. Yep, we want to put that out there. But that's So wouldn't that have the opposite effect? Like he would snort that up and he would start spasming and knock all the coke out of her hand, right?
Exactly.
Like even if he can't move his hands, he's gonna move his face.
And head butter.
Instead, he just nosebleeds to death.
Yeah, and that's how
Herb dies.
They keep describing this like laced coke as causing horrible nosebleeds, which like maybe if it was a speedball, because like snorting heroin can make you get really bad nosebleeds, but like that's not how strychnine works.
Point of clarity. Sorry, what's this? How does a speedball work?
It's half painkillers or heroin and half cocaine. It's very dangerous. Yeah. Because it slows you down and speeds you up, and your heart's like, what the fuck do I do? Oh. And then you die of a heart attack.
It's like a heavy drugs version of Four Loko.
Vodka Red Bull. VRB ASAP.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And people mix it together and do it at the same time. Ugh.
Were we all adults during the Four Loko days when you could get Four Loko when it still had caffeine in it? And,
so
you'd drink it and then you'd kind of feel like you were dying.
Yeah, it's not a great
And you wouldn't be hungover the next day, but like the next afternoon you'd have a horrible hangover. You'd wake up feeling fine and then halfway through the day you're like, I want to die.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'll notice how sad we are that Herb died.
Oh yeah, by the way, Herb dies.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So it turns out the cop didn't come to check on him.
Fitzsimmons is just as bad at that as everything else.
And Fitzsimmons was like, do you want me to come? No? Okay. And so he didn't come.
And this is
Herb's whole plan hinged on Fitzsimmons coming.
Did it though?
And this is where Michelle stopped reading because the chapter numbers stop and then it says epilogue and then I closed it.
Epilogue, whatever.
Then I came back and read it later, but at first I thought that was the ending and I was like, yeah, nice job, girl.
Yeah.
She gets away with it.
Alexa's the hero. Oh, but she doesn't.
No.
Okay, so then the final chapter is they're at Herb's funeral. Yep. Herb's mom's there.
Team Herb's mom. She was the least terrible person.
Isn't all of their funerals? Isn't it like a triple funeral?
Yeah.
That's what I was just
They're having a triple
funeral.
Like it's a
triple
birthday party.
funeral.
Let's just do it all
Quad
at once.
funeral. The funerals. They held all the funerals on the same day. The funerals for Lisa, Steven, Sammy, and Herb.
Like
so just in a row?
A couple days of each other.
There
wasn't much to say about Herb or Sammy. So. They're like, well, it's fine.
And these guys.
Yeah. So, and during this, we finally get a peek into Alexa's mind. Like, she becomes our narrator and is talking about, how sad she was. She had to kill him. And
before she could actually give him a nude picture of herself.
Yes, it was a pity he had never gotten to see a nude picture of her. Had it been possible, she would have had one taken and pinned it to his grave marker.
Which, it probably was possible.
Totally is possible. But how do you...
That's possible.
But you can't pin something to a stone, Alexa. Idiot.
She accidentally puts it in her dress and thinks he's come from the grave.
And she reveals her evil plot that she might just, kill her dad before she goes off to L.A.
Why not?
Maybe. I don't know.
Just for funsies.
Right. Because he crept into her room and taught her about things before she was ready. Wait, what? What do you mean before you?
And then we just keep talking about other things instead.
Yep. But then she sees Detective Fitzsimmons talking to Herb's mom, and she acts all cutesy and smiles and sweet, and Herb's mom comes up and clocks her in the face. Yeah. Herb's mom.
Get wrecked, Alexa.
Right. Although Herb's mom, aren't you a little bit grateful? Come on.
She's finally free.
I'm free.
Deadbeat
can move in.
Right? Theo, come on.
Theo's dead. The only one. No, Theo's the only one who's
That's
still
right,
alive.
he's not dead.
He's in jail, though.
Oh, well.
Because he confessed to murder.
A little bit.
It's a Shakespeare tragedy.
I don't know. Detective Fitzsimmons said that, nothing was illegal, so...
This is true.
All's fair. It's fine. And then the worst words, the end of the book, the parting words.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. I love Alexa's parting words. At least I'm not a wicked boy.
Yeah.
Like Fitzsimmons read Alexa her rights. Like, he has a real knack for, like, adding a really banal sentence after, like, something, like, absurd and crazy. Like, there was one part where it was like, well, nobody objected, so that's what he did. Like, he closes out all of these chapters and the book itself with, like, the crazy bonkers line. And
at least I'm not a wicked boy.
And then, Detective Fitzsimmons read her rights.
Like,
Just end with the wicked boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need to
It's
say.
a bad one-liner, but at least it's a one-liner.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Oh, all right. Final thoughts. What did we learn from this book?
Nothing. Literally nothing. How dare you, Christopher Pike?
How dare you make us read this with our own
Don't
eyes?
take pictures of girls in the shower.
Good one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is a good one. Use cocaine in my cookies for the bake sale tomorrow. Got it.
Pretty girls are always lying.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Eagles are the sexiest bird.
All right.
If a cop tells you he's going to come over in half an hour, don't believe him.
You might stop at McDonald's.
Yes.
Oh,
That is it for Die Softly by Christopher Pike, our book for this month. Be sure to join us next week when we start
oh my gosh.
The Evil Twin.
Dun, dun, dun.
Book number 100 of the Sweet Valley High series. We're
Love
just
an
going
even
to jump
number.
in at number 100. It's fine.
That's fine.
After they've had practice.
Is that a
Yeah.
holiday focus book I see?
This is a special holiday edition. This is, okay, so I'm going to be honest. This is the final episode in a 6-part miniseries, but don't worry, they recap everything that's happened up to this point in the first chapter.
Of course. Okay, thank goodness. I was like, I'm not reading 6 of those.
No.
Okay.
Holiday edition, Sweet Valley High, next month.
For
Boy.
Christmas.
For Christmas.
Awesome. All right, join us next week. If you guys are watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, and give us a review on your app player or podcast player of choice. I've been
Podcatcher.
drinking. Sorry,
Mimi,
guys.
that you listen to your podcast stuffs on.
Oh,
Especially on iTunes. Give us that 5 stars.
purple-
Write words. Don't write words.
There's
Just
a
give us the
purple
5
play
stars.
button. Do
That's
the
all good.
thing.
Do that.
Yeah.
Algorithms.
But most importantly, join us next Wednesday. Thanks, everybody.
On Who Let Me Read This. And a big thank you to sexyhackers.com.
SexyHackers.com! Stream Team!